Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today we're going to be decluttering some palettes, or I'm going to be going over some palettes that I have decluttered from my collection. So I've got about 17, 18 or so palettes here to go over, and I've already pulled these from, I have like a list that I keep in a notebook of all of my palettes, and I just went through the list and I'm kind of like, yeah, I want to keep that one. Nah, I think I want to get rid of that one. I didn't like test these palettes or anything like that. I just kind of was like, I think I'm ready to say goodbye, bye-bye to these palettes, because I either haven't used them in a while, or the last time I used it, I wasn't that satisfied with it. Things like that. And so if you're interested in seeing what these palettes are, then hang tight, because we're getting right into it. Okay, palette numero uno, coming hot out the gate. I've got something from Charlotte Tilbury. And you're probably like, wow, Charlotte Tilbury. I'm gonna set, oh my gosh, there's reason number one. This just fell right out. This was the shimmer shadow too. Oh my gosh, it just went everywhere, didn't it? I was gonna say I'm gonna clean these up and see if some of my friends want it, but that just exploded everywhere, didn't it? Seen here, right on camera. And yeah, that was the shimmer shade. It had like 3 shadows, a blush, a bronzer. I guess this is a highlighter. This is like a powder, I guess, or setting powder, what have you. This has a mirror. Yeah, wow. I don't even know what to say here. Okay, like I said, coming out strong. Where did all that go? I used to kind of land on the dog. Well, okay, then I'm probably just going to I don't know what I'm gonna do with that one now. Okay, but yeah, why am I getting rid of it? Well, the powder, the setting powder was too dark. The bronzer was not that great. The highlighter was definitely not that great on it. The only really good thing about it was that shimmer shadow, to tell you the truth. And if you saw it before it fell out, it was a little bit dug into. This is kind of a satin shadow right here. This is kind of dark. There was only 3. This is called the, well, I'm not even off to the right part. This is the Instant Look of Love in a palette, Pretty Blushed Beauty. And 3 eyes, 1 face, 1 cheek, 3 face, yeah. And yeah, I guess you could use that too as an eye, or you could use them all as eyeshadows. And clean that one. I never used it because I didn't think it was all that great. I've never found a Charlotte Tilbury product that I've just absolutely fallen in love with. So yeah, I'm just going to that's a cursed palette, I tell you what. Okay, next, this used to be one of my favorite palettes too. This is the Making Mauves palette by ColourPop. We're gonna see if anything explodes out of this one as I hold it up. This is a very nice palette. I just think it's lost some of its pigmentation, to tell you the absolute truth. But I'm gonna sanitize this and see and clean it up. Give it a good, nice cleanup. And I don't know, pass it along. Maybe see if someone else can get some use out of it. I don't know. Maybe they'll swatch it. It'll be for free. It'll be for free. I'm not selling it to anybody or anything like that. But maybe see. I know those shimmers are still really nice. But I just have some more impactful mauve colors that I know that I can get use out of. What's next? The next palette I have is from BH Cosmetics. It is the Low Key Love You, and this is a really good palette. I need some darker. I need some darker shades in here. This shade here isn't that dark, and I do love the reds in here, and the shimmers in here are really good. They are, but I just need a palette with more dimension in it. This palette doesn't give me the dimension that I need. I would always have to pull from something else to get those shades. So it has some nice light shades. It has some nice mid-tone shades. I would like some darker shimmers in it too. It doesn't go dark enough with the shimmers, but this shade right here, it's just kind of a mid-tone really. It doesn't really go deep enough. So this is one of those palettes you hold like this, and you're working on it, and people can see what the name of your palette isn't upside down. So we got that going on. Now, the next one is actually the Naked Wild West palette from Urban Decay. This palette was just okay. It was not good like the Naked Heat one is, or even like the original. None of them are as good as the original Naked palette was. This is what it looks like on the inside. Like I said, it's just a very meh palette. I will clean it up and see if somebody wants this one, wants to try it out. This is like the deepest shadow, but once you blend it out, it's not really that deep, to tell you the truth. This is a good shade right here. This one here called Pony Up. That whiskey shade's really good too. Whiskey here. This color looks like it's gonna be nice, but it's just okay. I do like this bluish, this turquoise color here called Bud, and I do like this rustler gold here, right there. I never really played with these two much because they're really light, and I never really played with that silver too much. I don't really mess with silvers that much, Cowboy Rick, but I could really never think of too many colors. This one's a thinker. This one's definitely a thinker. But it was just okay. It was okay. No. On to, maybe this was a me problem. This is the Ace Beauté Classical Paradise. I don't know if this is the old or the new formula, but I could not get this one to work on my eyelids. I tried working with this one a couple of times, and I just could not make a good look with it. Also, the color story, I do like greens and yellows, and I mean, it's a nice fall looking palette. Did I say this is the Classical Paradise? Yeah. And I don't know. You would think this would be a palette that I would like the color story on, but I just can't get with it. And I don't know. It's got lots and lots of, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shimmers, which Ace Beauté does not usually put that many shimmers in a palette. They're usually a little stingy with their shimmer shades. I think the right person using this with the right skills could get this to work. I couldn't get it to work. I don't know. I've got another Ace Beauté. I didn't think I would ever be decluttering Ace Beauté palettes, but here I am. I got this one from Ipsy. This is the Smoky Roses. And how do you spell smoky? I thought there was an E in it. S-M-O-K-E-Y, right? But they spell it S-M-O-K-Y. Maybe that's how you spell it, and I've just been spelling it wrong. I don't know. Or is this a misspelling? Pretty palette, but I don't know. The black is like a matte black. I don't know if that's a shimmer or if that's a matte with shimmers. I never really figured it out. Other than that, that's like these are the only 2 deep shades in here. Which is funny because Ace Beauté palettes usually have lots of deep shades in it. Other than that, it's really a light to mid-tone. And I'll be honest, I only used this palette like once. And it was just a kind of meh look. And I have not really wanted to use it again since. So, I don't know. I just want to I just want to pass it along. Okay, the next one is this one. I used it in a Get Ready With Me. Was it a Get Ready With Me Monday or Friday, something like that? This is the Wondrous Escape from Wander Beauty. It is a very meh palette. I talked about this in a palette review, and it came in dead last, didn't it? It sure did. These mattes are very, very bland, and I'm sure this blue is really, really nice, but the shimmers are very bland as well. I did not enjoy using this palette at all. It's a very pretty palette, pretty artwork on the palette. Okay, the next palette I have is from the BH Cosmetics travel series, and I actually got this one from Miss Gloria. So this was a pass along. This is the Party in Puerto Rico, and it looks like this. And again, there's just no really deep shades in this one. And I have another one from the travel series that has the same problem. There's just no deep matte shades in it that I really, really like. So I just like putting dark shades out here in my outer corner. That's what I really like, to have some definition in my eyes. And I really like this color story. I just wish there were some, this was a little deeper in the color. But it has a really pretty artwork, and it's really nice. So yeah, maybe clean it up, see if anybody wants it. I'm hoping to do maybe a palette exchange with somebody. Like, if they had some palettes. I'm not picky about the palettes either, but because I'm trying to get more palettes for my Project Palette 365. So I mean, if you know anybody that's interested in doing a palette exchange, let me know. Okay, the next palette I have is the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Primrose. This is the Primrose palette. I made some really awesome looks with this one, but the last couple of looks I made, I just wasn't able to make it work. I don't know. It's got two really nice blushes on here too. It really is a nice formula. I just don't know what happened the last couple of times I tried to use it. It swatches really nice. It goes on really nice. I don't know what happened. And I thought, you know what? I've got better palettes than this. I can do better than this. But I mean, those are really pretty colors. I love pinks and purples. And it does have dark, it has light, it has midtones, it has nice shimmers in it. So I mean, it's got the recipe for a perfect palette in my book. So it's good. I just don't know what happened. Okay, this is a messy palette. This is a messy palette if anybody's interested in it, but I will try to clean it up as best as possible. This is the Norvina palette, and it's messy on the inside too. But I'm gonna buy some alcohol spray and some spray bottles and try to spray it up, disinfect it, clean it up, all that good stuff. But this is a good palette. I'm just not into the bright pinks and purples anymore so much. I do have some palettes that are bright pinks and purples, but this palette I'm not really that into anymore. Not so much. Good formula, great formula, just not really into this anymore. Now this is a good palette, but I have a palette that's just like it. This is the Okalon, the Pink Rose palette, which is a dupe for the Huda Beauty Pink Rose Quartz palette, and I already have a dupe for it. It's called the Alter Ego Coastal palette. So I used this exactly once. This was to do a comparison of this palette and the Alter Ego Coastal palette. So this is a very beautiful, very nice palette, and it does have that little jelly, and I did stick my finger in it because I did swatch the two of them. So this is a very nice palette. It works very well. The two, when I did the two dupes next to each other, I think they both did very well. I just chose to keep the coastal one, I think, because I had used it more. And I decided that I wanted to, pinch myself with this one. This is the pink rose one. I just decided that I wanted to keep the coastal one, like I said, since I used it more. Okay, and I know some of my friends have just gotten this one, but I've had this one a really long time. This is the Limoncello palette by ColourPop. And I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me anymore like it used to. I have lots of lemon or yellow and brown palettes. I have a lot of them, and a lot of them from ColourPop. I have the Wannabe palette. I have the C3PO palette. And both of them I like better than this one. And I don't use that blue at all. So that's why I'm getting rid of this one, because I don't use this. The last time I used it, I didn't even like the look I did with it. The colors aren't contrasty enough, I don't think. I mean, it does have this dark color here, but there's not a light. That's what it is. There's this light shimmer, but there's not a light yellow in here. It's that? No, that's a shimmer too. That's what it is. There's not a light yellow. That's why I don't like this palette. This is kind of a green right here. I do like that kind of green shimmer there though. But I do know, but you know. Okay, this was from the Ulta collection. This is from the Harry Potter series that they did a couple of years ago. This is not the ColourPop collection. This is not the ColourPop Gryffindor palette. This is the Ulta Gryffindor palette. And this is what it looks like. And so, it's just the Ulta, what am I trying to say? The Ulta formula, which is okay. It's just okay. It's not going to be like ColourPop or anything like that. It's just an okay formula. You've got your light, you've got your mids, you've got your dark colors. I don't know. I just have palettes that are very similar to this with better formulas. So that's why I'm getting rid of this. I don't really have any ties to Harry Potter. Don't really love Harry Potter or anything like that. In fact, if I had a palette, I got the Gryffindor one because I liked the color story. If I was getting it because I liked the house, I would get the Ravenclaw house. But I didn't like the Ravenclaw color story. I got the Gryffindor one because I liked the Gryffindor color story. But I am not a Gryffindor. Okay, now the next one in the BH Cosmetics travel series is the Hanging in Hawaii one, and we've got this. It is very light color, all light colors. I mean, there's light, but very mid-toned. I would say very mid-toned, and all the shimmers are light. All the shimmers are very, very light. There's not even any mid-toned shimmers in here. Oh my gosh. I did use this a couple of times, but I don't know. I don't hate this palette. It's a very good formula, but it's just not very well-rounded. Very well-rounded palette. So that is why I am passing along that palette. And the next palette I have is this Hearth palette, which I did use recently in a collab that I did. And this is what it looks like. And it is a very good formula. Very good. In fact, I like that shade up there. It's just, I don't know. This is a very complicated color story. I always use the same mattes when I use this. And I use this matte and this matte and this matte. And I use that for an inner corner. And that's a matte. And then I use that. And I don't use that. I don't use these greens. I don't use half this palette. So, I don't know. Maybe someone else could be more creative with this palette than I can be. But I can't think of I can't think of a lot of looks to do with this palette. This is what it looks like. It's by Chantico. Yeah, Chantico Beauty. And that's what that is. So, and it's a very nice looking palette. I don't know. Some palettes I just really can't figure out what to do with. So that's that one. And the last one is actually a Natasha Denona palette. Yes. Oh wait, I got two more. One is an Ofra palette. I don't get along with Ofra eyeshadows. This is a very easy palette to work with. It's got a shimmer / highlighter in the middle. It's got two shimmer shades here and here, and it's got there's no light shades in here. This is the Signature Palette Luxe. What is this called? Yeah, just the Signature Palette Luxe. I don't know. I can't make a look with this because there's no light shade in it. And well, I could. I don't have to have a light shade, but they don't blend well for me. I don't know, maybe other people like Ofra shades. I don't. Ofra and I don't. We can't party together. I don't know. She's that girl that, I don't know. Her and I just can't hang. I don't know. I had another palette. I had the Symphony palette before. The same thing. I had to declutter her too. I got that in an Ipsy box. Ipsy kept sending me over palettes. I don't know. Okay, the last one is a Natasha Denona palette. And you're probably like, why are you getting rid of a Natasha? Well, this is the Glam Face palette. And oh, she is dirty too. Okay, she needs to be cleaned up. This is the Light Face palette. Okay, and she comes with a highlighter and a regular highlighter and a cream blush that are very nice. I just don't really like these eyeshadows. These are the light ones. This does have a light, a mid, and a dark, and two shimmers, so I do like that. But this really is for like a really going out night. Like this makes a really fancy look. And I just don't ever get that fancy. I don't ever need to like look that fancy. So the few times I've used this, I've just done it for videos. How long has that been in my hair? Why didn't anybody tell me that? Okay. I've just done it for like videos. I've never worn this palette out for like going out time. So I don't know, I've never had that special an event to go to, like a fancy dinner party or something like that, or a nighttime wedding, or my own wedding. So I don't know, maybe somebody else might get use out of that. So those are all the palettes that I am decluttering for now. And yeah, let me know what you think. And what are some palettes that you have decluttered lately? Maybe we could do a palette exchange or something like that if you're interested in any of my palettes. Hit me up here. Let me know your Instagram. We could talk on Instagram or something like that on the gram, and or email or something like that, anything like that. And yeah, that is all I've got for today. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, goodbye.